let me go ahead and kick it off, man. So, family, what's going on, man? And as y'all can already see, we got a guest on the channel today. You know, and he making history. He making history. This is the first person to link up with us for a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So it can go some ways, y'all. It can go some ways. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we don't beat up on them too bad to where the rest of y'all out there don't accept the invites and want to get on. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we make him feel at home, welcome. He a Cowboy fan, y'all, so he ain't gonna be too welcome. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. But I'll go ahead and let him introduce yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guest.
Hey, yeah, my name is Marco Bynum, man. I'm from Pittsburgh, California. Um,
Sir.
been a Dallas Cowboy fan, man, since I can remember, since I was about 6, 7 years old. So I've been around for all the ups and downs. Um, Also a basketball coach. I coach ASU basketball. Been coaching basketball for about 25 years.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Former player, former parent, also referee high school football. So when it come to this sports, man, I've seen it from every angle, man. I've been a player, I've been a parent, I've been a coach, I've been a ref. You know what I mean? So um, I just enjoy sports as a whole. I enjoy seeing people start things and finish things at a higher level. You know what I mean? And just a basic love for the game, man.
That's what's up, man. I love the intro. I love all the angles from the game. And let me ask you, who's your basketball team?
Well, right now I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm kind of torn. I've been a Knicks fan, but things have changed over there in New York. So I've kind of come back home with my basketball love and turned back into a Warriors fan.
Man, you
Okay,
got to stick with who you know.
I don't know nobody over there at the Knicks no more.
All right. I get it. I used to be a Bulls fan. I'm a Lakers fan now.
Yep, yep.
I'm just glad you didn't say the Lakers. So a welcome with that, because I was gonna ask you on the referee side. Um, I'm looking at I got the football game over. I'm looking at the basketball game right. Lakers killing them right now.
Yeah,
But getting back to that, I was gonna attack this last night, but JP called me and bothered me. But what you think about that Laker call? If you seen it, that timeout.
that was bad.
oh, that was terrible. That was terrible. See, one thing that I learned about timeouts are it, a timeout is never meant to stop a run.
Right.
So if you're on a run, it's always a bad idea to call a timeout. You know what I'm saying? So what I was taught was you use timeouts to gain possessions, to get your thoughts clear, to set up a play, that type of thing. Basketball is a game of runs, so you're gonna go on some runs, and the other team will go on some runs. So I never really like calling timeouts to stop runs. You know what I mean? It don't matter which team is on the run. Eventually, you're gonna get one too. You got to let the game play out.
But the one on at the end of the game for the game in the in season tournament, the Lakers and Phoenix the other night, the ball is loose underneath the basket, chilling by itself,
Right.
and LeBron's turning to the ref doing this, and they gave him the timeout. Nobody
Right.
has possession.
Terrible
Right.
call. Terrible call. Terrible call.
How do you not overturn that? How do you not go look at that in some type of way, knowing the stakes, and overturn that?
You guys remember you remember about maybe 7 or 8 years ago, it was a referee by the last name of Douglas. I can't remember his first name right now, but his last name is Douglas, and he was banned from the league for saying that the game was scripted and fixed.
Wow.
If you go back and Google and look it up, I can't think of his name right now, but his last name is Douglas. A white guy, he was a pretty good ref, but he got banned because he came out and he said, some of the calls he were making, that he was getting threatened and he was getting talked to by league officials because the game was scripted, the game was fixed. So when you
I've heard
go
I've
ahead.
heard Evan Turner say something to that nature. You know, a lot of people be trying to be hesitant about hitting to that nature, and Weekend is. I mean that calls absurd, and the only reason it don't get overturned is because it's the Lakers. I really feel like it's
Yeah,
LeBron, it's the Lakers. It's you won't like he's making this in season tournament. The fact that if he wins the first in season tournament, like
Yep.
he's gonna have that. He's shooting. He going for it. He
yeah,
gonna
He's
make
trying.
this something.
yeah,
Like
And
they
Anthony
wanted
Davis playing pretty
they
good
wanted to
too.
see him in this. You know
right,
what I'm
Right.
saying? So
right, right. Well,
that call is crazy.
the league, anybody in any team and any coach and any player and any fan of basketball will agree that when the Lakers are doing good, the NBA is better. Period.
The the Lakers and the Celtics.
Yeah, when those teams are good, the league itself is better. So the 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 hand, the favoritism is going to always shade towards the Lakers in the West and the Celtics to the East because the NBA is just better when those teams are good.
Yeah. I mean,
That's what they did. That's
I,
what they
I
said.
for some people, I guess at the end of the day, me being a sports fan, I just want to see a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but let's get into some football. And
Yes.
JP, he hit on the group chat. He was like, "Man, I need to respond. I need to respond to that video." He said, you need a Niners fan perspective. And I said, you know one? You happen to know one? And he said, yeah, you was chilling with one, the one that beat your team, the one you was chilling with. I'm like, okay, but go ahead. Which parts, JP? Was it Philly living in y'all head rent
Mm.
free all
That was a
year?
big one. That was a big
Was
one.
it that y'all could deflate after that? Like y'all had all that stirred up to get to Philly, and you know what I'm saying? That was an early premature Super Bowl for y'all. Which part you want to respond to? Go ahead.
A little bit of both. So number one, I'm gonna start with them living rent free in our head. It was true as a Niner fan and as a team, right? At the beginning of the season, I didn't think we would be what we are now. I thought we was gonna be better than average, but not on top of the league. And I say on top of the league, meaning like push it and running on all cylinders offensively and defensively. I think our only crutch is our kick return and punt return. And a lot of people don't use that anyway because they always kicking it into the end zone or down in it. So I believe that Debo, Samuel, Trent Williams, all IU, all those guys, Warner, definitely let this game be the one that they marked on the calendar, right? Started off with Dallas. Dallas was the fifth game of the season. I thought that would be a close game, but I felt like we can pull it out because our coaching, right? The way that Kyle Shanahan runs the offense and our defense is already firing. But I knew that back end was kind of loose, but it seemed like they kind of showed up a little more on that back end. That front seven kind of keeps that back end at bay to where the quarterback has to make a decision. Either he gonna let it go and throw it for a loop, just try to give it to wherever he got it, try to get a PI, or the DB is gonna make a mistake. So when I had this game, when I think the Niners went into this, they wanted to prove that they were better than Philly. And I felt like we were. I didn't feel like we were better, me personally, because we haven't beaten them. So when we got through the game and got to that first quarter, I said, "Shit, we're gonna get our ass whipped." We was at -6 yards. So in my head, I said, we about to get our ass whooped. It's going to be another Jalen Hurts game where he just run the table like Vince Young did against USC in the championship. I said, he going to run around. I said, it's going to be a Devontae Smith. Is his name Devontae Smith?
Mm-hmm.
He gonna have him a day, and he just gonna go for 130, 140 yards. We might be able to hold AJ Brown maybe a little. They don't have a tight end. I felt like Swift would be able to get 70, 80 yards and probably 40, 50 in the return. I mean, in the receiving game. They just shut all that shit down after those first two sessions. Getting those 2 field goals and just for him to get 6 points in the first quarter, that was big for us. Kyle Shanahan flipped the switch and got into their game. You know, I was having a discussion in the barbershop today. He was like, he said, do you really feel like Brock Purdy could be MVP? And I said, well, let me ask you, what do you feel? He told me a lot of that shit is predicated on y'all yards after the catch. And I said, that's exactly because he didn't throw, even though they said that Brock Purdy is averaging more than 9-point-something yards per pass. Most of the time, he's throwing 5, 6, 7-yard passes. And then Debo, Trent, whoever is out there is making 15 extra yards out of it.
Yep.
So when he put it in that perspective, I said, no. I said, I don't think he's the MVP. When you look at it like that, when you see how much help you got, somebody does got to get them the ball, but are you actually the one that's getting it done, right? Tom Brady was getting it done. He had somebody, but he had to find the open holes, right? He does do what he needs to do as a quarterback to push this shit forward, but is he the one that are making the moves when this shit goes downhill? When the break breaks down, is he the one that's actually making the shit happen, or is he just finding the open man where the play is already set? So that was big, and I didn't think we were gonna whoop their ass. And when we whooped their ass, I couldn't do nothing but be excited. What was the second part of that question, Juan? It was the rent free, and it was the
like, are y'all satisfied with that? Are y'all gonna deflate after that?
No, I don't think we're gonna deflate because we got a lot to prove. And I feel like Shanahan, knowing that he lost 2 Super Bowls based off of possibly some moves that he made in the end of each game, being up ahead. Well, he was up 25 points with that Atlanta game. He was up 10 with us with 6 minutes to go. I think he has something to prove. I feel like Brock Purdy being hungry, Ayuk not having a contract still, Kittle going into his last couple seasons with us, all these guys that are somebody is trying to prove that they better and that they all pro. So I feel like we do still got. I hope we don't deflate, and this be the pinnacle of what we started. I hope we can keep pushing, knock off Seattle with the same ferocity we had 2 weeks ago, and then be able to cruise through the next couple. I mean, the Ravens is the only. The Ravens might be our real Super Bowl. That might be the Super Bowl and our Super Bowl. We're gonna have to put Lamar in a blender to where he can't do much. They already don't have receivers, in my opinion. They got a running game right now, including the running back with the quarterback. But we're gonna have to really just keep this shit pushing. I mean, if that's our Super Bowl, I don't feel good about it. Because even with the loss or the win, it don't make us none. It either puts them at first in the division, or it puts and we still in our division. So this game didn't matter as much. It just proved to some people that we were better than them.
But y'all can go on the road and go win in Philadelphia. That was huge. That is huge.
That's huge.
You know, it's a lot that you can take. Let me say this. What you thought about Philly, like the Devontae going 150 and AJ doing this and Swift, they ain't did that all year.
Right.
Like all of them be able to do that. It's Swift. Them games that Swift took off and had them great games running. AJ Brown was on the sideline pouting. You know what I'm saying? So a good game from the receivers and the running back ain't a game that they've been able to put together. So they wasn't gonna do that. They haven't looked like that all year. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And to let's and what let's go to the Super Bowl, like you said, with Kansas City. Kansas City shouldn't fear. Y'all shouldn't fear if Kansas City somehow make it out of it. I wouldn't fear Kansas City this year. If y'all
Yeah, I
if
would.
whatever y'all had for Philly, I would not have that same for Kansas City. Y'all are a way better team than Kansas City.
I think the thing about Kansas City is they took our soul. They took our heart and our soul at the end of that game after coming off a great season that we felt like we were really good, beating the teams that we beat in 2019 and getting where we got and just getting the mud hole. They scored 20 points on us in the last 6 minutes. So I think I don't have animosity towards them. I just want to beat them. And I thought that was going to be who we had to take out. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't know if it's the Ravens. I don't know if it's Cleveland. I don't know if it's the Bills. I don't know who's going to come out of the AFC now. It's going to be interesting to see how this shit plays out in the next 5 weeks.
It don't matter. It don't matter. Long if you're gonna be there, it don't matter. You shouldn't care. You shouldn't care who come out. But Marco, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do how much rent do Philly get in your head?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Oh, explain it. Explain it.
You know, from a coaching standpoint, they've outcoached McCarthy and win several times. Don't get me wrong, we've played it well against Philly. You know what I mean? But it just seems like, some strange reason from a coaching perspective, they have just a little bit more incentive to win games than our coaching standpoint, than our coaching staff does. Um, when you talk about drafting players, you know what I mean? The situation with the Shaq Leonard thing going on this week, like
Mhm.
they've just been a little bit more hungry, a little bit more quicker to the punch, a little bit more uh, seasoned uh, than we have. You know what I mean? So um, they they've posed a big question mark. You know what I mean in our development to get to the Super Bowl and our chances to get to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? For I think maybe the last 3 to 4 years, it's either been us or Philly. You know what I mean? To win the division. I think we split. We split two. We won it twice and they won it twice.
How do
So
you feel about? How do you feel about? Sorry to interrupt. How do you feel about what we did to them? Do you guys feel like we showed y'all the blueprint, or do you just feel like y'all going home with 14 wins in a row at home, and y'all just it's just y'all time?
I think it's a little bit of both. Tell you the truth, I thought we played well enough to beat Philly in Philly.
Absolutely.
And I'm a referee and I hate to blame things on the referee, but that call in the end zone is either a touchdown or DPI. It's one of the two. There's no way it's not one of the two. It's
Right.
either a touchdown or it's DPI. And
Right.
for it not to be either one of those two, like I said, it's an eyebrow raiser. You know what I'm saying? So I thought we played, and to me that was probably Dak's best game of the season so far. If you ask,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, we played well enough to beat Philly. So I like our chances at home if we can bring the same type of intensity. And Philly, what the 49ers did to Philly basically was 2 games late. They escaped out of Kansas City, they
Yeah.
escaped Buffalo, and I think you got the 49ers just basically, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
gave it to what they should have got anyway. You know what I
Right.
mean? Well, and if you go back even a week further, they escaped from us. They escaped from
Yeah.
us, escaped from Kansas City, they escaped from Buffalo, and I think it just pretty much primed them up for San Francisco to beat
I'm
up. Go
sorry,
ahead.
y'all
See,
having technical difficulties, but let me say this: just because you talked about escaping, Philly done pretty much escaped every game this season. They came in there, pretty much dismantled Miami And that was kind of like, to me, that was damn near their best game of the season.
Right.
They
But this is
they
a,
fight
this is a
a lot
game of interest.
weak, and at some point, it's not sustainable. Brandon Graham even said it after this 49er game. He was just saying, we've been getting away with a lot of stuff, and it finally caught up to us. Philly is a good team, but they're a very flawed team. And at some point, you can't keep hiding behind that. They find a way to win, thing, because a lot of teams are finding a way to win. You can't just put that on anybody because they win a close game or a couple of close games. I mean, find a way to win in the playoffs, man. Find a way to win, against good teams. They just every week, whether it's a bad team or a good team. Like at some point, it's like, all right, it's gonna come to a head. But
So let me ask. I ask all three of y'all, but really, Marco and Peso. So there hasn't been a repeat champion in the NFC East in damn near 20 years, if not 20 years. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, who's winning the NFC East?
Good one.
Well, I mean, based on what's at the table and based on what we're talking about, I mean, it's either Dallas, Philly, or Frisco. That's it.
But only one. No, I'm talking your division, NFC East. Your division, because there hasn't been a repeat champion in your division in damn near 20 years, if not 20 years.
Right.
So knowing that history, that artifact right there, is history being made this year? Is there going to be a back-to-back champion, or is there going to be a new champion?
I'll be a fool to sit up here and say that I don't like my team's chances. You know what I'm saying? Like Ray said, I think the script is out on Philly. I think I think San Francisco basically broke the Band-Aid, which should have happened 3 weeks ago. But I think the Band-Aid is broken. This is a copycat league, and once the Band-Aid break, everybody follows suit. You know what I mean? So, we're 14 games in a row. We're a strong team at home. I like our chances, so I'm gonna go with us.
So
go ahead, Sean.
Honest, man. I think the Cowboys win on Sunday, but I think Philly does win the division this year, man. I'm not gonna lie. They got a pretty schedule.
Their schedule is simple and plain after you guys.
Huh?
Their schedule is simple and plain after you guys. Real simple.
But to me, it's like thinking about it, man, that Cardinal game is starting to be a fucking nuisance, man. Losing to the Cardinals. That shit, like, you overcome it, but I think that might really come back to get us in the end. But yeah, as of right now, like I said, I got Dallas on Sunday, but I think Philly ultimately wins the division.
Next 4 out of 5 games, y'all got as hard as hell. Y'all got a tough schedule next 4 out of 5 games.
Very tough, and I think the division is going to come down to week 17 and week 18, and those are the sit the starters week. So right. Will Philly sit their starters if they're in in line, or will they play all the way through? Those are those trap games. So you know what I'm saying. And I think if they lose to us, they're going to have to consider playing.
What to say? It all depends on what y'all do on Sunday, because this is not going to be, because for them, Eagles, this is it. Yeah. So if y'all can't pull it out, they're going to have a walkthrough. Even if they lose 1 game or 2 games in the next 2 games, it's going to be a walkthrough. I talked to a real Dallas fan. I feel like a real Dallas fan like you guys. Ain't nobody just blowing smoke up your own ass. You really are real fans, and you really know what you're talking about. And he told me he think that y'all gonna go 2-2.
That's kind of like that's my whole basis of saying Philly's gonna win. I think we probably gonna have trouble with Miami, and bro, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That Buffalo game, I ain't worried about Detroit, man. I'm sorry.
You should be.
I was slow to get on the Detroit bandwagon this season, but Detroit is probably I don't think that defense is hard enough, man. But yeah, I think the two games we probably gonna end up dropping, man. It's probably gonna be Miami and in that Buffalo game.
Very, 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 very possible. Very possible. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, we've shown it because you figure Miami's game is going to probably be a high scoring game, and we've shown we can win type of games. We put up 41 points in Seattle. You know what I mean? We've shown that we can win games where, you know what I mean, the score is under 21 points. And I think that Buffalo game is going to shock a lot of people, and it'll be a defensive game. And Buffalo's not healthy defensively, so they don't really bother me as much as Detroit and Miami do because their defense is not healthy, not all the way healthy. You So, and Josh Allen threw more picks than Dak this year, and I got him on my fantasy team. He's been letting me down all year. So
Yeah, this for sure his letdown year.
yeah,
Even
Buffalo.
nobody on the Bills has been showing nothing. Not
But
not only person that's really been doing something is Cook, and Cook is mediocre.
They say it's a letdown year for Josh Allen, but really, if you look at it, he played like this every damn year.
Every year,
Like,
but not consistently game after game like this. It'd be here and there.
They
like this.
I get that they're banged up, but he does turn the ball over hella much.
Sure.
And he will get out there and throw a dart or just go on a 17-yard scamper. But I mean, this is him. That we can't put it all on him, but people are knocking him this year. But it's like this is kind of like what Cowboys.
It's a lot more. It's a lot more of his bads than goods this year. I mean,
oh yeah, no question.
He single-handedly lost 3 games by himself.
But look, man. That's the thing about it though. Like he's not getting. I guess you can say he's not getting. How can I put this? They're not covering those warts. The warts have always been there, but you have defensive plays, or they'll hang around enough to win some of those games. But now they're banged up on defense. So yeah, he throws an interception, and it's like there's no cover for that. But I mean, this is kind of what Cowboy fans were saying last year. When they was coming down on Dak for throwing all them picks. We were always like, what's going on with Josh Allen? Look at him. But everybody just kind of wanted to never mind that because the Bills won. But here we go.
But it's crazy because Josh Allen, in the beginning of his career, we were like, who the hell is Josh Allen? Like, where he came from. But his first 2-3 years, he was shit. And nobody could. I mean, like the Bills, before they got Diggs, who else was there as their named receivers? They had a few tight ends, but nobody had a name there. They didn't have a running back. They didn't have nothing of value. And then he kind of emerged like a year or two before he got his contract, and he showed who he was, but he still had those flaws that can ultimately help you lose the game.
Exactly. Yeah. So Buffalo don't scare me at all. Like I said,
So can y'all? So you say you ain't worried. Peso say he's not worried about Detroit, and you say you're not worried about Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm way more worried about Detroit than Buffalo.
So my thing about Buffalo, and then we can get off this. They're coming off a hell of a game against Philly, their best game of the season, right? They actually outplayed Philly and lost.
Sure.
And actually, if that game was officiated a little better, that game would have been a win. It was some questionable non-calls, man. Darius Slay was out there fighting for his damn life. But they're coming off that great game. They're building up some momentum. They just had a bye. So they're going into KC, on Sunday? And a lot of people are picking them to beat KC. I mean, I understand it. They've had some success against KC in the past. I don't see them winning that game. But if they have any success in that game, it's just going to be a continuation, a rollover effect. And, they're still in the playoffs. So I expect Buffalo to, I guess kind of like, what we see from the Packers right now. A few of those bad teams kind of building some late season momentum. and I kind of put Buffalo in that category. So that's gonna be a tough game for the Cowboys. I'm just being honest.
And I look at the AFC East as, is Miami smoke and mirrors? Are they just a track team? Like before Jalen Ramsey came back, they kind of couldn't get it fully done. They don't have Minka Fitzpatrick. I forgot the guy's name that's back there. But he
Xavier in
the safe, the
Xavier.
one that
Yeah.
Xavier Howard. So I knew that was Xavier Howard was showing that he was that, but he wasn't doing what Jalen Ramsey was doing when he was over there in his first couple seasons with the Rams. But I don't know, man. I see him as a track team, but they could be beat.
Oh,
No,
absolutely.
I believe. I mean,
Eagles did too.
He'll take the top off, and that's an elite threat, being able to just throw the ball up and say, "Go get it."
Yeah, no doubt.
But I mean, some of these plays will play eight and back there, and three down linemen.
You say you talking about Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek, the cheetah.
You talking about Tyreek Hill? That's a perfect segue. That's good. And we got Niner representation on here. We got Cowboy representation on here. And today, I've been dipping and dabbing into, the mainstream and the conversation. Dak or Purdy, MVP. Let me speak. Purdy's not, and I can definitively, for me, Purdy can't and will not get it.
No.
And to JP, what JP said, right? It's the yak. The yak helps. It's the yak. But for me, this is why Purdy just can't get it this year for me. He had a chance to really show his value those 3 games that they lost in a row. That had those games came out the other end, when you missing this person, then you missing that person. So you telling me that he's only as good as if he has this person or that person with this in this system and this call. It's not all him. Like, he had a chance to show you that it was all him, and just in those moments, in those 3 games. So just for that, I feel like he can't be it for me. Now, Dak, I understand the yards, the turnovers, touchdowns, the ratios there. For me, the competition is just not there yet. And I'm looking at this one guy's numbers, right? But for me, let me just tell y'all who I think. I Tyreek Hill for me. But I was keeping track of teams' wins and losses against teams with winning records, right? Lamar Jackson has over half the season has been teams with winning records. Hell, the division is a winning record. He's got 6 of those. And at one point, I stopped keeping track. The man he was 5-2. He had 7 games already. And it was about like week 8 or 9. Every team he played it's still the top tier. And now I stopped counting Cincinnati when Joe Burrow went out. He got one on the belt when Joe Burrow was there. And and they reached they height, and he went out, then I disqualified him. But the talented the teams that they're playing right now, his numbers is freaking terrible. I just looked at him. I looked at that shit and was like, what the fuck? It is horrible.
Yep.
But damn, bro, 9-3, bro. And like, Odell ain't out there doing nothing, bro. Like, no, Mark Andrews is gone, bro. It's Lamar in the bag of fucking chips, bro. Like, how? Like, I want to say him, but his numbers got to mean something at some point, bro. I understand you playing against competition, but damn, bro, the numbers got to be there at some point.
I agree.
So for me, it's Tyreek Hill, man. What y'all think about my argument, my MVP argument?
Give him his flowers, man. You got to give him his flowers. I feel like he deserves everything he's getting financially, and when it comes to possibly being a MVP runner.
Yeah.
He, like you said, no Mark Andrews was his safety blanket and his number one receiver. His receivers drop passes at a crazy rate.
Bro, and he's the fucking leading rusher damn near. Come on.
Leading rusher, because every year for like the last 2 years, his main rusher tears his ACL within the first couple games. And then they got to go figure out, you give credit to John Harbaugh and the group, having to go figure out who's next up, who can pull in and be in this offense that's kind of, no, I don't want to say it's similar to Miami because Miami throws the ball a little more. That's similar to just being a track team and maybe getting short yardage in the red zone and this and that. But I believe he is everything that they say he is, being an MVP candidate and being able to get the shit done on a high level, to which I believe he's probably going to wind up being in the Super Bowl representing the AFC.
Ooh.
And then let me add this too, though. I forgot to say about Dak. Dak for the MVP is not out of the running for me. Let me say that. He's not out of the running. These games against, like you said, Buffalo, Philly, Detroit, that motherfucker go take care of business. He got my vote. It's not over. He's still in the race in it for me. That's all I wanted to get that out there too. But JP, respond to it. So Lamar, not Lamar. What I said about Purdy. Do you agree about Purdy?
Yeah, I believe he's not the MVP. I believe, like I said, when me and you were talking yesterday, that the yak and all that extra yardage, like you going 5 to 7 yards passes and them turning into 30 plus, is all on the receivers. Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, McCaffrey, and so on. And Jennings, he only dumps off 5-7 yards. He plays it safe, right? He does. When he plays it safe so much, sometimes a deep play opens up, he'll knock it out.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what any pro set quarterback can be able to do. You should be able to go 30, 40 yards. If you can't, then you shouldn't be in that position. So I believe that him being the MVP is not it. Now his numbers are crazy MVP-ish. Like my boy at the barbershop I was talking about, shout out to Cole on the barbershop, man. He was saying whatever Purdy has, Dak has the other ones. So Purdy has this, that. He has the yards. He has the yards per pass. He has the completion percentage. He has, I forgot the other three. And then Dak has the other ones. He's leading. So in my opinion,
interceptions, ratios, and shit like that.
Right. The QBR we got. But you look at what Dak has done this season. I was a hater. I don't think he's a terrible quarterback. I'm a hater on some level, but you can't hate skill. I hated on LeBron for years. I thought Melo was better for years until I really had to open my eyes and see Melo ain't shit compared to LeBron. And I say the same thing about Dak. Like you look at Dak, and we give Peso a lot of shit because they Dallas Cowboy fans and the owner don't stop running his mouth. But he needs to get his flowers, not just for this season, for a few years. He makes Dallas is always on a pedestal being called America's team, and people wanting to talk about him. Stephen A. makes it a big thing, and then on the other show, what's his name? Skip Bayless talks about him so much. So all these shows that are Dallas-centric, either players or representation or fans, even the fan, even as sportscasters, we still fans. And when you get your own show, you can tell them about what you want. So they're always put out in the forefront. And Dak's getting talked about, and Zeke's getting talked about, and Pollard was supposed to be elite running back this year. And they act like they got away from the rushing game. But I will say he is top 3, if not top 2 quarterback this year, and I believe he should be leading over Jalen Hurts in the MVP conversation right now as we speak. Right now.
Let me say this, man. The media really did a number on the Dak Prescott perception, man, after last season. I tell people all the time, my man was damn near throwing 2 picks a game, but the Cowboys still won 12 games. And he probably had one of the greatest games of his career in the playoffs. against Gotti's team. But the media did a number. You know, to see the shit that David Carr said about Jalen Hurts, and they had to make that man come out and kind of re-clarify what he was saying. I'm like, nah, man, say that dumb shit with your chest. We hear dumb shit about Dak Prescott all the time, and ain't nobody walking it back. You know, Shady said he was ass. You know, they was saying Cooper Rush should start. You know, Bart Scott was been calling for us to replace our quarterback up until the year they gave him that contract. You know, oh, they should go get Teddy Bridgewater. He's better. They should go get James Winston. You know, Dak been having to do all that shit. You know, like, say all that dumb shit about other quarterbacks too, man. Dak's been a baller. I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you he's been a top 5 quarterback, but Dak's been a baller, man. He had an off year last year, but if you really watch ball, like Shady was saying some dumb shit. Let me see how he rebound from a bad game. You don't watch ball, bro. Go watch the Dallas Cowboy Houston Texans game last year. Go watch the Dallas Cowboy Green Bay Packer game from last year. We lost that Packer game, but he threw 2 early interceptions and he bounced back. Only reason we lost is because of fucking Kellen Moore. Motherfucker don't want to. How you don't run the ball, man, in the fourth quarter and you have 14 points? But anyway, man, that's another story. Yeah.
Let me chime in on that MVP conversation.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, Marco, respond to my MVP take.
I like your pick, Lamar. I like it. If I had to put those picks in order, I would say Lamar first. I would say Dak 2A, and then I would say I agree with both of y'all about. I think Purdy is the most efficient quarterback in that conversation. He's the most efficient, and unfortunately, efficiency doesn't MVP. But as far as making and knowing how to make the quarterback in the right system, I do believe he's the most efficient. You know what I mean? And then I would go with Tyreek Hill fourth. But my pick is neither one of those 4. My pick is gonna shock y'all. My pick is CJ Stroud.
Oh, how?
I mean, how could you not? I mean, the youngster is swinging the ball all over the field with no-name receivers, with mediocre running backs. He's throwing for 300 and 400 yards against top defenses every week. We didn't even know if he was going to start when he got drafted. Brand new coach, weak team. I mean, all the intangibles. He throws it, he runs it. When you an MVP, you can't just be set. That's why I don't give it to Tyreek Hill, because the last receiver to win MVP was Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? And I think the year Jerry Rice won it, he didn't just catch the ball. He ran the ball out the backfield. I think he threw a couple touchdown passes that year. We've yet to see Tyreek Hill do any of that.
He runs the ball, but 2,000 yards, we ain't seen that. 2,000 yards, that man get 2,000 yards. And the fact that he doing it and it's not Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball.
No, I agree. If he get 2,000 yards, then he'll get a lot more of my attention. What
Michael Parsons said the other day, Michael Parsons was pretty much like, man, I could go out there and throw touchdowns to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, 2,000 yards is 2,000 yards. You can't knock that. You know what I'm saying? But the youngster over there in Houston, man, what he doing with a little bit of nothing?
To Marco's credit, that's actually the real definition of the MVP, most valuable player. You know, when you think about how terrible the Texans was last year,
man,
and you know, it's pretty much him, bro. That's his arm from game. If wrong, they make the plays and stop. But you know, when you get up to your quarterback, especially a young man like that, defense go harder.
Yeah,
but definitely, you know, the definition of MVP right now.
Yeah, but they also got to finish with a winning record, and most importantly, I think they need to make the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely. This,
And his name's come up in a few conversations I've heard, but nobody believes that he can. In those conversations, they didn't actually believe that he could win it just because he's a rookie. But I actually do agree with your assessment of like all of that. That is the definition of an MVP. You know, especially I mean the situation of a rookie with the rookie head coach,
yep.
receivers that nobody knows, nobody's
Yep.
first pick.
Yep.
The organization that hell, you know, we don't know if they set people up over there or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You know, like we questioning them, and
Yep.
to have them boys formidable over there, I agree. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Insane.
yep. I agree.
Man, CJ is on the radar, off the radar because he's a rookie, man. Like I believe he's gonna win Rookie of the Year for sure. It should have been. I felt like Puka was it in the first half of the season, and then when Sanford got hurt, it just kind of got bad for Puka. His receptions and the records he was setting as a rookie was crazy. It was
Yeah.
it was real nice, but Stroud is single-handedly doing it by himself, man.
Single-handedly doing it by itself.
He on
And
pace
you
5,000 yards.
and if you
That's
look
wild.
at the what they say what Aaron Rodgers did, it ain't too far off, and he's doing it with his arm and his leg a little bit.
Right.
So when Aaron Rodgers being a name gets him in the MVP conversation, doing the same shit that Aaron Rodgers did should be able to get him there and better.
I
You know what I
agree.
mean? So it's gonna be tough. I mean, he can push like GM Twan Gotti said, if he can push himself into the playoffs, which it ain't hard because that division is ass.
Yeah.
I
Let's
mean,
call a straight.
and Trevor being down is gonna give him some games, bro. He got a chance to win that division. Fuck, make the playoffs. They got a
Yep.
chance to go ahead and kick down the door for that division with Trevor being out with this ankle sprain.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And if he able to keep them stats the way they is with Tank Dell going down too,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
I don't see it. It's gonna be hard for me to youngster, man.
Oh, okay. Let me ask this. Let me button. This a good conversation. I'm gonna cut. I'm looking at the time. I got to put baby girl down. But then what I was gonna say, they win that division. D'Amico, Coach of the Year.
Oh,
Ooh.
Coach of the Year.
I like that guy over there at Minnesota for Coach of the Year.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. And he done won with like 3 different quarterbacks this year.
Man, that get my vote right there.
Really?
That gets my vote right there, man. When you basically go into the street and picking dudes off the corner to come play quarterback and winning, man,
That's a good one.
that's hard. That's hard to do, man. That is hard to do.
Okay, so I asked the question if the Texans make if they win that division, is D'Amico Coach of the Year?
Absolutely.
I feel like
I would look for your boy too, Twan. You can on his head. Stefanski. They end up running the table and getting in. We got to look at him too.
Hey, I'm not even gonna lie, bruh. I'm not even gonna lie. You know my 3 that was on the hot seat, man. You know my 3. Stefanski. I actually think this guy can coach now, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They done won with 3 different quarterbacks over there too, man.
Yeah.
There was another one. I thought about that shit the other day. I was like, when the rookie, forget his name. When he came, Dorian, something like that. When he came in, and he got a win, I was like, they just won with 3 damn quarterbacks over there. I'm looking at him like, you know what? This coach really ain't that bad. He ain't that bad. Let me give him his flowers. I
Yeah.
think I had him on the hot seat. I had him on the hot seat, but he's showing he's showing why he survived the Baker Mayfield era.
Yeah. Yeah. He can coach. I mean, his reputation precedes itself, man. And he's been around for a long. He just unfortunate to be in a division where each team is threat to win it. You know what I mean? So, but that cat over there in Minnesota, man. I mean, you know, I respect what he's doing and what he's doing it with. You know what I mean? For your starting quarterback to go down, and then probably arguably the best receiver in the game to go down and still be able to be right there. That's hard to do.
Hell yeah.
Well, in my opinion, looking at the past few coaches of the year, one was the guy from the Giants,
Yeah.
the Detroit coach, and I think the common denominator between them two was the team was nothing, and the next year they was something and getting into the playoffs.
Right.
And with that being said, it got to be D'Amico. If D'Amico even makes the playoffs or runs the table and wins the division. I
I
think
agree.
it's him. I think it might be Miami's coach if Miami runs the table, which I don't know if they are, because their
Right.
division is not that easy. And then maybe shit. I don't think they're gonna throw our coach in the mix, but I know our GM's probably gonna get GM of the year.
Yeah.
I'll give him GM of the year. Hell yeah! I mean, shit, he got everybody he wanted over there. I
Yeah.
mean,
Everybody.
if he didn't have two great linebackers, I mean, where did Leonard go? Dallas and Philly. Why? San Francisco
Yep.
has two great linebackers already. He would have visited their ass too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit.
I agree. I
Nah, but man, dope conversation, man. We made history on this episode right here, man. We had our first guest slide through, Marco. Man, we appreciate you sliding through. I'm just
man,
gonna put a button on this thing right here, man. But I'm gonna let the homies get some last words before we get up out of here. Go ahead.
hey man, I just want to say appreciate y'all for having me. My guy Ray been talking about you for about 2-3 months now. Been hyping me up to get on here. And anytime there's some conversation about sports, man, I'm all in for it. And I had a ball. You know what I mean? I'll be listening in from here on out, man. You got all my support, and I love what you're doing. Keep the good work up, man. Like I said, anytime I see a young black man doing something positive, he get my.
I appreciate it. Salute it. Peso, you got a ribbon on it?
Man, we back, America. It was fun. It's been a while, but yeah. Missing homie Nito, but yeah, man. Go Cowboys.
Hey, I got one last question before we walk out the door. We got to get the predictions, man. Y'all Dallas Cowboys fan, give us your honest prediction on the points that you guys are gonna have. What's gonna be? You guys both think y'all gonna win? What's gonna be the points?
I'm gonna say Dallas. Dallas wins it, man. 24-17.
Mm.
Mm.
Who's gonna be the MVP of y'all game from your side?
I'm gonna go with that youngster man over there playing cornerback, man. I think Deron Bland comes back, man, and ices the game for us, man, with a pick deep into the fourth quarter to seal the game. I'm gonna go with Deron Bland.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Dallas 31, Philly 21.
Mm.
And I think this is gonna be a Brandon Cooks party, man. I kind of thought it was gonna be like that first game, but yeah, I think Brandon Cooks gonna eat. He's gonna be the guy this week.
He's silently been y'all like really like an ace in the hole when y'all couldn't find CD. He's resurged as a great number one, number two receiver on other teams.
I was telling Gotti, man, he actually get more looks in the red zone than CD Lamb.
He's heavy on the red looks. What about you, Gotti? What do you think?
I'm actually on it now because Philly lost that game. I actually believe that this repeat champion is not gonna happen. So Dallas has to win this weekend. That would make sense. For that scenario to play out. So I'm gonna take Dallas this weekend, 24-19.
Yep.
Okay. I'll say Dallas 28-27 in a knockout last minute effort where Dak don't make that same issue where he ran out of bounds and actually ice the game for 28-27.
What's going on, man? Everybody can't pick Dallas, man. I'm looking around, a lot of analysts picking Dallas too, man. I don't like it.
Well, you don't pick them. I'm going for them. I need y'all to win, number one. And number two, if y'all don't win, they just going to cakewalk through the rest of the thing, and they're going to wind up 15-2.
Man, they've been escaping the last 3 games up until Frisco beat them. It's over for Philly, bro. It's over.
I mean, the team did lose to the Jets, so it may not be a cakewalk, win or lose on Sunday.
Keep that same energy. Y'all gonna be live and direct Sunday night. Probably might be the highest watched game all season. And we had a few of those already.
Yep. We got this, man.
Hey, yep. I'm gonna end it like this. I told JP the other day. I watched the 2018 national championship game. When Jalen Hurts got yanked at halftime for Tua, I get them vibes right now. He playing like how he played in that game. So to everybody out there picking them Dallas, they know what's up. They know what's up about that repeat champion. They placing them bets on the side of history, and until you wrong, why not? Why not? Until you believe it, until it happened, why not? Just another sports podcast. I appreciate everybody, and we're gonna end it like that. We catch you on the next one. Yeah.